YouTubers, and welcome to Novus Talks with me, your host Novus Corvus. And in this video we're going to be talking about Darth Maul. And the reason we're going to be talking about Darth Maul is, well, recently we just got the trailer for the final season of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and he's heavily featured in it, and so it just led me want to go into discussion to what we could expect to see from Darth Maul and what turn his character will take next. Darth Maul has always been a favourite character of mine, and more recently when I started watching him in Star Wars Rebels, he quickly became my favourite Star Wars character and definitely my second favourite fictional character of all time. Simply because he wasn't even really a villain, as more of he's an anti-hero. And that made him really interesting because he was doing all the bad things but for the right reasons. And he seemed like he was so interesting, and he was all sort of coming and going and you never knew what to expect from him. And one of my problems was that even though his death was pretty quick and should have been handled a lot better, it always felt like they were hyping him up for something that never happened, some big confrontation. And so that, considering we never got that confrontation, and that he appeared in Solo, it just led me onto what we could expect to see from any future appearances by Darth Maul. So where we're at right now, Darth Maul has appeared in Phantom Menace, Solo, The Clone Wars, Rebels, and several spin-off comics about him. And that's about really it for the most part. Now, what's interesting about Clone Wars is that he had the heist on Mandalore, and as we're seeing in Season 7's trailer, Maul is going to be one of the many targets of Order 66, and more importantly is that he knows it's happening, and he seems to be baiting Ahsoka into coming to Mandalore. Presumably he's trying to tempt her to the dark side, or else maybe he's trying to bargain with her so he can escape or something. But it's really interesting because they have a duel, and this is the second time they've actually ever dueled, but it'll be the first proper duel they had, because when they dueled in Rebels it was only a couple of seconds and then it became a duel between Maul and Kanan. So this is going to be the first proper duel, and we kind of already know how it ends based on the comics that have been released before, but regardless, it's still going to be one of the most interesting and exciting fights in all of Star Wars. Made even better by the fact that Ray Park did motion capture for Maul, which is why he kind of looks more realistic in his facial expressions and whatnot. So he does know Order 66 is happening, and we know he's going to escape Mandalore. At some point he's going to found Crimson Dawn and lead this huge criminal organization. But then there's a gap between that and him losing and ending up trapped on Malachor for many years. So there's a gap there. There's still plenty of room for Maul's story to be filled in. And they could do this in a number of ways. Obviously a Solo sequel was originally planned. In fact, I think they were doing a trilogy. But unfortunately Solo failed and they scrapped that idea, which is such a shame because Maul, it would have been interesting to see Maul and Qi'ra, and as some people say, how Han Solo would fare going up against Maul. It would have been, I don't think Han Solo would have lasted at all against Maul. It would have been probably more a rescue mission to get Qi'ra, like straight in, straight out kind of thing. Who really knows? But the fact is, Maul was going to lose somehow and end up on Malachor. So there's room there. But one of the big ways I see Maul returning is in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Because, alright, we're seeing him in the final season of Clone Wars, and something's going to happen afterwards, and he's going to end up leader of Crimson Dawn. We don't know what, maybe Season 7 will show us, but for now I'll focus on the whole Crimson Dawn aspect of him. So the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is happening, and it's set on Tatooine, so what are they really going to do with Obi-Wan for, I don't know, is it 12 episodes or something? Obi-Wan is going to have to go up against someone. True, he could fight some Inquisitors, but I would be really happy if they decided to make Darth Maul's death in Rebels appear in live action. Maybe it might be like the last episode of the series or something, but have Maul show up, or have him show up once or twice, and have that whole confrontation in live action so we can see Ray Park as Maul one last time, have them duel out, and see Maul's death happen properly on live action screen so we can get the full impact of his death. We can actually see exactly how he died, and Ray Park can finish the story with the character he started with so many years ago. It seems like the perfect way to go. Because what's really sad is that Ray Park does really want to play Maul again. He trains every single day from 3 in the morning for lightsaber combat and in his martial arts skills, because he's really hoping any day he'll get a call from Lucasfilm asking him to come back to play Maul, which is really sad, and you kind of really hope that happens, because the man's just a freaking badass, like, and you know, the character is badass, and so why not bring him back? He wants to play the character. I've never seen so much passion for such a simple character, and he's really into it, so for God's sake, Disney, bring him back. But yeah, if he doesn't appear in the Obi-Wan series, that would be a massive missed opportunity. What else could he appear in? Ideally, he'd get his own movie, but if Disney aren't doing any spin-off Star Wars movies, then, I mean, they seem to be doing a Rey movie, or there's talk of a movie about Lando, as well as the new trilogy being about the Old Republic. But there's nothing about Darth Maul in there, so I'm not really sure where they can fit Maul into all that, but they should definitely consider, because he's important into the bigger picture in a way, and we need to know, like, what happens that he loses everything at Crimson Dawn. What happens Kira? If you're not going to answer it in Solo, explain something else, and explain how he got to that point in the first place. But yeah, also worth noting is that while he didn't appear in Rise of Skywalker, which I felt was a missed opportunity because we had Ahsoka Tano, which means she's going to die at some point, sadly. We had so many voices of all the Jedi, and we had references to several Sith Lords. It would have been nice to have seen Maul incorporated in some way. Technically, Rey's lightsaber at the end was this design, and she was on Tatooine, so it's possible she got her crystal from Maul, and that's what I like to think. But outside of the movie, he does have a canonical reference within that storyline, because the books Rey is reading that she got from Luke's Jedi Temple, that Luke wrote, mentioned Darth Maul in quite a lot of detail, which is fascinating, because Luke somehow knows about Darth Maul. More importantly, he knows he killed Qui-Gon, he knows Maul became the leader of Crimson Dawn and the Shadow Collective, he knows Maul died in Tatooine, he knows pretty much everything about Darth Maul, so there could be something to explore there. Or, I mean, even though I hate the Force Ghost idea, it'd be interesting to see Maul appear in some sort of vision or something. Who knows? Or even they could do that for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, have him appear as a vision or hallucination or something. And people ask, like, even if you bring back Maul for a movie or for the Obi-Wan series, what could you possibly have him do? And I'd love the idea of him going up against the Inquisitors, because we've seen in Rebels, he takes on 3 Inquisitors at the same time and kills all 3 of them practically by himself. Yes, he had help, but he did kill them all by himself. So he's well capable of decimating Inquisitors. So it would be interesting to see him go up against a powerful opponent like that. And people have pointed out he might need a bounty hunter, so that maybe he hires Boba Fett or something. It could be a nicer way to tie everything together. There's just so many possibilities the more that I think about it, what they could do with him. But maybe I'm just getting in over my head here. Maybe I like to think of Maul as more important than what he is, just because I love the character so much. He's so badass. And even his voice is just so cool. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What could we possibly see next from Maul? How is he going to escape Order 66? How is he going to form the Crimson Dawn? What do you think happens after that? How does he end up in Malachor? Let me know down in the comment section below. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and please subscribe.